Hi guys, I hope you're all keeping really well and you're very welcome back to our new build adventures. This week we'll be doing another DIY project and it is a tiered shelf. Over the last number of weeks we have been deliberating over a solution for all of our pots which have taken over our garden, and we've settled on building a shelf to remove some of the clutter in our garden. So with that said, let's get into another fun DIY project.
Oh no, this can only mean one thing, another DIY project. So guys, in last week's video you will have seen us paint this shelf and move it over here to display all of our plants. Since that, we've decided that it's not really big enough for what we want. We got all of this timber and we're going to build a 3-tier shelf here that's going to be able to display all of the large pots, medium pots and small pots. We paid around £75 for the timber, which when you work it out is a lot cheaper than any of the shelf units that we were able to see online, even on Amazon, and the build quality should be much stronger and much better for that price point. So we'll put on screen now some of the inspiration that we had, and just to give you an idea even of some of the prices of the units that we were looking at, and hopefully this will turn out stronger, better and cheaper overall. For this particular shelf unit that we've decided to build, we're going to build it in like an A-frame style. I've only needed 2 different pieces of timber for this, so there's 3x2, 3" by 2", and then there's 2x1. These are primarily for the shelves and this is for the stronger structure of the frame. These are in 4.9 meter length, so there's quite a lot of timber here, but we might not need it all. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to mark up what lengths I need and what different pieces I need to cut from these, and then I'll just get the saw out and start cutting. For anyone interested in building this shelf for themselves, I'm just going to show you what tools you'll need. You don't necessarily have to have the likes of the chop saw here. You could use a normal saw. You could technically do it without a drill, but it would be very difficult. Basically all I need is a chop saw, drill bits, drill, screws, tape measure, pencil and just a ruler or a square. The overall height is going to be 150 centimeters, so I need to measure out 2 back legs at 150, and because the front legs are going to be a bit more slope, I might have to measure them a bit bigger to account for the way that it's shaped. So we'll sort of just work it out as we go along. I haven't really planned it out too well, but yeah, hopefully it'll work out. We'll see in the end, and hopefully you won't make any mistakes that I have made. 150. So now guys, now that I've got the back pieces cut for the unit, the uprights, I'm just trying to measure what the front is going to look like. Because it is an A-frame, it's going to be diagonal, so it's not just a case of cutting it straight. This is 150 centimeters long. This piece here is an uncut piece yet. I don't know exact lengths of this, but I'm drawing lines across to try and find where the bottom's going to be. So what I've done is I've got a straight edge here. I've set my pieces the correct width apart, so I want this 80 centimeters at the bottom, and then I'm just running a straight line from here across here, which gives me then my pencil mark at what angle I need to cut this. So as you can see, I've used this straight edge here going off the base of the straight piece on the back to measure where I'm going to need to cut at an angle in order to have my diagonal front leg sitting flush on the ground as well. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've just trimmed off these pieces. The piece at the top to make it nice and flush at the top of the A-frame, and the piece at the bottom to make it nice and flat with the ground. Thankfully the saw is able to be moved at whatever degree angle you like. I've got all the cross members cut for each shelf. There's going to be 3 shelves, so I needed 6 of those. So now all I have to do is cut the other front A-frame piece and a few little side pieces, and that's basically it. So we're pretty much, I would say, about 30% through the project at the minute. Obviously we have a surprise in store for us how it's going to look at the end, whether we're going to paint it, stain it, what we're going to do, but that's up to Ramona. She's the creative director, so I'm just the handyman. So we'll let her decide that, and we'll show you at the end what way it turns out. But yeah, getting there, about a third of the way through so far.
Momo's come to join us as well. What do you think, Meows? You like it? Huh? Would you rate it? Meow meow.
So in typical me fashion, deciding to wing it works out trickier sometimes than what you think. I'm trying to get the angle perfect on these in-between supports, so I'm going to have 3 going upwards, and I'm finding it a bit tricky to get them exact. So what I'm going to do is just put one side together and make sure that it's perfect, and then I'll just recut these bits, just trim little bits off the edge till I have the perfect angle on all of them as well. I find it a bit tricky to set up two sides perfectly the same and assemble them all together at the same time and have them match up perfectly. So now that we've got one side of the A-frame built, it should be just a matter of laying out the second side and copying exactly where the pieces are, and it should turn out pretty much identical. So guys, that's both the A-frames built now after a lot of messing about and back and forth. There's a little bit of a bow in some of the timber which always throws you off, so just have to basically put the cross members in now. So I've got 6 cross members to put in for the 3 different shelves. Okay guys, so what I've done here basically is I'm just going along and marking out all where I need to drill. Right guys, so this is the next phase, and now what we need to do is get the cross members attached. I've pre-drilled all the holes, which took a while. It always turns into more of an ordeal than what you planned, but we're getting there and it'll be worth it in the end up. It's quite a warm day today, so we'll need to remember to keep the fluids going.
Guys, so this is the progress so far. James is fed up already. So far we're not doing so bad. I think the hard part is done. That's what I would say. Don't you think? But it's starting to take shape. The bottom is very wide, which is exactly what you want. Middle is middle, and then the top is obviously going to be quite small. The idea of the tiered shelf is to get for the plants to get as much sun.
So what I've done now is just cut these little supports. So what they're going to do is sit inside down here, obviously not like that, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to run the other laths across this way, so it just acts as a little lip, and then everything will be nice and flush and it'll all run laterally that way. I've got some extra 3x2, I don't know how I over calculated, but I have some extra 3x2, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make centre supports, which I was going to do anyway. I was just going to use the 2x1, but I'm going to use stronger 3x2 now, put it in there just to make the shelf a bit stronger and give it a bit more support, because it's going to be heavy pots with a lot of soil, and when they get wet they're going to be quite heavy. Now we have all the little runners cut, we have all the supports cut and installed, and the last thing to do now is cut our laths that are going to go across and create the actual shelf. So I've got one here just to show you what it's going to look like. It's a bit tight to get in, but that's the general idea there. And there's going to be multiple in here, there's maybe going to be 3 in total, and then as we go down shelves it's going to get more and more and more, so it just gives it sort of like that, I don't know, it's not really Venetian, but you know what I mean, that kind of style. So all lateral laths going that way, and it's all going to be flush. I'm just using these as little props, little supports. So yeah, it should be more than sturdy. I can nearly stand on that myself. I'm not going to try it. You should just be able to put the end flush to flush here.
Yeah.
And then so guys, look at this. Ramona has now been taught how to use the chop saw, so I can sit back and relax and she can do her own projects from now on. Isn't that right, Ramona?
Don't know about that.
Yeah, she's a pro now.
I don't know about that.
Watch her go. Watch her go. Pressure's on.
You know, there could be like a millimeter out or...
Nah, you're a real professional. I think you should open your own carpentry school. I'm gonna retire, folks. I'm gonna relax.
How many do you need? You have one.
A lot.
A lot?
I'll let you know when it's bedtime.
Right guys, so it's a new day and we're on our way to the paint shop where we have a variety of colors, because James wants to buy a paint for his shed, and his shed is oil based, so we need to buy a special paint that can go over that, and then I need to buy a paint for my shelf.
Yeah, so as Ramona said, we're planning to paint the shed. It's a controversial decision. I like it the way it is in wood, but down around the bottom of the shed has got all stained by damp over the years, so we're just going to bite the bullet, I think, and paint it. We'll not spoil the colour just yet, we'll leave that a surprise. So yeah, we'll head off there now and we'll get a snoop at what colours they have for sale.
Let me get a jam on.
Yeah, I'm hungry, I need to get breakfast.
Yeah.
but nothing in the house. Ramona's lost wife points.
Yeah, James can't seem to do anything when he's hungry, so everything has to work around him being fed first. So we have to get some breakfast. So I got just a single bacon, believe it or not. That's all I want. And here's James's dirty breakfast.
Yeah, I donated the bacon.
Oh, you donated it?
Yeah.
Because it's 5 pieces, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 pieces for a price. And the BPM is like it's a special thing that only ever happens with the breakfast, isn't it?
It's only for breakfasts. This is potato bread, by the way. Kind of a Northern Irish thing. I think they have it in Scotland as well. Part of a fry up here in the morning. I don't even really know what's in it. Is there even potato in it? I don't know.
Maybe.
It's called potato bread. Never really thought too much about it, just eat it.
Right, guys, so that was a successful trip. I think James got two
sample
samples.
pots. So I got a colour, it's using the RAL code, so it's like a universal code for paints. And this is the 6005, so it's like a really dark green colour. And then I also got a jungle green, which is kind of like a lighter sandy coloured green. So they're both quite modern, both quite out there, I suppose, a wee bit out there for me especially. Like, I'm normally quite conservative with colours, but yeah, either one of these two are going to end up on my shed, so stay tuned.
I like the kind of sandy coloured one.
Yeah, I like it too. It's quite modern, it's quite nice. I'm just trying to imagine what it's going to look like with the black roof and the black side trims, because I don't want it to look a bit weird or a bit too contrasty. So I want it to look nice still and not regret painting an entire shed in a wonky colour. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Ramona also got her planter paint.
We'll show you that when we get home.
So yeah, that's top secret for now.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, let's get back and get it all sanded down and ready for paint.
Woo!
Right, this is where we're at so far with the planter. We haven't screwed the laths in place just yet because we actually want to sand them. As you'll see here, some of these are really fibrous, you know, there's a lot of jaggy edges, so we want to smooth that all down. And over there, look, it's all raggedy. Right, up. Just set it up here. Hi. Watch.
It's up now.
Yep. Is everything wiped down? You're happy? Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
So the next step, guys, as you've seen, we've sanded it all down and Ramona has wiped it down with a damp cloth just to remove the dust. So we've got our paint, but first what we're going to do before we put our laths on for our shelves, to get into all the awkward places, it's going to make it a lot easier if we don't put them on just yet and we actually paint all the internal parts first. So we're going to paint all of this first, all the runners and everything else like that. Then we're going to paint the sides of the actual laths for the shelves because they're going to be so tight together that we'll never get them when they're screwed in place. So do all that first and then we'll finish off by just painting the rest of the unit, and that should be us done.
Right, so it's time for the colour reveal. You better all like it. It's a lilac, very light lilac. That's the one. James is not impressed. If you saw his face right now, he's pulling a stink face.
It looks white to me.
No, I wanted it to be light. It looks like that because it's very bright out, but I wanted it to be almost undetectable. Here.
Okay. Should I have to spill it on my grass?
So guys, this is our progress so far. It is very light, very light, which is what I was looking for, but in the sunshine it almost looks like it's white. So I think to get a true color we might just need to wait until it's evening time. But this is what it's looking like so far. We are going to need a second coat on this part. So yeah, we just keep cracking on. The next part now is to get the slats on, and James is going to do that.
So guys, as you'll see, we've painted both edges of these planks just to make life a bit easier when we set them on here, because there's no way we'll be able to get them painted when they're in place. So we're just going to screw these all in now and get them spaced out, and then we'll paint the tops and the bottoms, and that's basically it, done then. So let's go. So guys, as you can see, we finally finished painting everything. It turned out pretty good overall, I think. The wood is still a little bit rough to the touch, but at the end of the day we bought the cheapest timber we could buy because it was already going to work out an expensive project. So yeah, happy overall with how it turned out. There's a few little blemishes that I should have noticed when I was cutting the timber, but in the hurry that I was in I didn't. Anyhow, it is what it is. It's done now. It's pretty good. Ramona's happy with it and she likes the colour. I understand in the video it's probably not going to come through. It's going to look white or look a strange colour, but it is a very light lilac tone here, which hopefully will be quite nice when we put all our plant pots and stuff on it. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to put it in its final place, and we're going to move the other shelf that we have here, and we'll get all the pots on it and see how it looks then. So let's go.
Alright guys, so this is what we're working with at the moment, but obviously we're going to be buying more pots and things like that. These need to be sorted, so it's only just temporary for now, and then eventually we're going to get more pots, make it look a little bit funkier, maybe have some lights over that side, some decorations and stuff.
The only thing I think is wrong with it at the moment, because it's so light and all our pots are light, they sort of blend into it a bit. So I think we need to get some maybe more contrasting pots, or I don't know. It's hard to know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments what you think. Should we get different pots, or does the colour just not work? If it doesn't work, we can always repaint it in a different colour. I think it's not too bad, but I do think we need something to sort of bring the pots out. I suppose when the flowers come out and the whole colour of the flowers is there, it might spice things up a wee bit. To me it just looks a bit plain at the minute, but I suppose when these things start to flower and there's lots of colour from the plants, it might change. I don't know, it's hard to picture these things sometimes. Let us know what you think, what you would do, and how you think it's turned out overall. Thanks everyone for tuning in to this week's vlog. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. And if anyone would like the full details of how to build this shelf for yourselves, just drop us a comment and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.